So is this update the one that completely saves Xdefiant? This is update 1.5, and I believe there are some things in here that people are going to be very, very happy about. And some of these changes are going to make people a bit mad. So, we'll go through them, and if you agree with anything, let me know in the comments down below. Voice your opinions. This is the place to do it. And while you're there, don't forget to press subscribe, you know what I mean? So anyway, let's just go through them. And the first thing they tackle is all around movement, and more specifically around jumping. So if you're someone that is an absolute movement demon, this update is probably going to affect you the most. So to kick it off, they've got a brand new array of jump spamming mitigations, and what they've basically done is they've tweaked the sway penalty to kick in after 3 jumps. So if you jump 3 times, you'll remain sway free, so your aim is perfect, or assuming it is perfect, but on the 4th time, or the 4th repetition of either jump or crouch spamming, your aim's going to be absolutely written off. It is going to be KO'd. And the array of new jump spamming mitigations just doesn't stop there. They've gone one step further. The jump height penalty is progressive, meaning that jump height decreases gradually after each repeated jump. It goes on to say that it is now capped after 3 jumps. So after the first jump, the height is set at 70% of max height. That then reduces to 49% of max height, and then 34% of max height. And this all sounds a little bit confusing, but what it essentially means is that after the 3 jumps, you will gradually then start having less and less airtime. At least that's what I think it means. And just before I go on and give my opinion of these changes, they've also made a couple of other tweaks, so let's just quickly run through these. So these are other jump related adjustments, and the mid-air strafing speed has been reduced by 25%, so that it's actually been slowed down by nearly a quarter of the speed, and the horizontal jump speed has been reduced by 10%. They also go on to say that they've reduced the animation speed for these transitions, which is standing to crouch, crouch to stand, stand to jump, sprint to slide, slide to jump. So now my opinion. Well, by the sounds of it, it looks like they're really trying to hard. So now my opinion of these changes. Well, I do think it's going to make people a little bit easier to hit, so it is going to bring down the skill gap quite a bit in my opinion. But I must admit, the jumping animation, it kind of looked like the legs went one way, the body torso went another way, and it was a little bit jarring, not only to look at but then to readjust your aim, which is probably why it did add a skill gap, but it probably is why I'm bad at the game. But I think, just based on the information, I've not got my hands on it yet, and maybe tomorrow I'll upload a video to see what my actual opinion is on these gameplay changes. But on the face of it, I think it's going to make it more user-friendly, and it definitely encourage people to play more, removing some of these gimmicky things that I personally found frustrating when you're comparing it to other titles like Call of Duty. Now, map changes, they've made a couple of things on Echelon. They've basically fixed a bug that when a player stood on a railing, you got a connection error. And on the Daytona map, there was people shooting through a wall that wasn't intended to be spammable. They've now made that wall bulletproof. So that's all good stuff. But the more important map changes is that we are getting a new map called Rockefeller, and it looks sick. And apparently there'll be a mid-season debrief tomorrow where they're going to take a closer look at the map. And just know that bradUK will be covering it. So now we're moving on to the juicy bit, at least from my opinion, and that is the rank mode. And I did try to avoid seeing all these notes on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call them. So when I read these for the first time, I would be surprised. But unfortunately, I failed on that very simple task, and I kind of read them all before I started recording this voiceover. So first one is which I'm absolutely gassed about, and if you didn't see yesterday's video or the day before or whatever it was, we actually mentioned this. So ability restrictions, they're bringing them in as of now. That means that only 1 player per team can have that specific ability. So no more playing against 4 Phantoms. This is a huge W, and I think this is a main reason that a lot of players did not want to play ranked, because as a solo player you only get 1 EMP, and if 4 Phantoms decide to put up their shield, well, it was a little bit frustrating to say the least. It does go on to say, though, that if you change your faction or the ability you're using during the game, once a respawn happens, another teammate is able to choose that specific ability. So you can still change your abilities on the fly, but just no two players will be able to have that same ability during one game. Now, the next bit I actually really like, and they've tuned... Now, the next bit I absolutely love. It felt very slow to rank up, but they have tuned the speed to rank progression. So that's excellent. You're able to rank up faster, which is, again, as a solo player, is an absolute godsend. It actually goes on to say that unless you're in Legends, which I don't think there's too many players, you should actually see a 30% increase in RP from 1 matches. So that's absolutely unreal. I'm gassed about that. But also, not just that, it gets kind of better, because if you're actually losing matches, you're actually going to receive less RP loss. So hopefully it'll just mean if you play ranked more and you stay in ranked, you hopefully can climb the ladder a bit quicker. Now, one thing they have done, and this needed to be implemented really, if actually you quit the match, so you quit on purpose because your team might be losing, the increased penalty will go from 40 RP loss to 50 RP loss. And I actually hope they continue to increase that as a deterrent, because there's nothing more infuriating than trying to win and someone leaves the game. Because a 4v3, ain't no one got time for that. That did actually fix 2 other matchmaking bugs. One that was preventing ranked players from matchmaking in the ranked lobby, and the second bug which was allowing, say, bronze players invite legend players to give them a bit of a boost. Well, that looks like it's been fixed, so no more boosting. Now, as a result of all these changes, I do really hope we see a surge in the population of people that actually play ranked. Not only just try it out, but actually continue to queue up, and we get more varied opponents. Because right now, one of the other issues I did have with ranked is that I'm facing the same players all the time. But if you want to hear me rant and go on about that, then be sure to check this video right here. But until tomorrow's video, catch you later.